everyone. In this video, we will be converting linear equations to slope-intercept form. If we say slope-intercept form, that is of the form y equals mx plus b. And this is the second part. I will put the link of the first part in the description box below. Now, in this example that we have here, we are asked to change the given linear equation, so these two right here, to its equivalent slope-intercept form, and that is y equals mx plus b. Let's start this first example right here. So we're given 2x plus 3y equals 8x minus 6. Again, our target is to have y by itself on one side, so that it's on the form y equals mx plus b. But then we have a 2x and we have a 3 next to the y. So we need to get rid of the 2x. We need to get rid of this 3 so that we can have just y by itself on the left side. So as you can see here, this is a positive 2x plus 3y. So we go ahead and say this is addition. So we remember that the opposite of addition is subtraction. So that we go ahead and subtract 2x from both sides. So that's minus 2x. Again, we wanted to get rid of the 2x. So since there is an x on one side as well, I am going to put them next to each other. So this would be a minus 2x as well. Because again, these two are like terms. So that we can go ahead and say that we have a 2x minus 2x is a 0. We can cross that out. So we are left with 3y is equal to, that's 8x minus 2x is 6x. So I'm just going to write 6x right there. And then we have a negative 6. So then we go ahead and say that this is actually 3 multiplied by y, or 3y. Now we remember that we need to get rid of the 3 here so that we can just have y by itself here. So that we go ahead and say that we remember that the opposite of multiplication is division. So we go ahead and divide both sides by 3. I'm going to divide this by 3, divide this by 3 as well. So 3 divided by 3 is 1, or we can cross this out. So we are left with just y on the left side, which is the target of all the steps that we've been doing for the past few minutes. So we can go ahead and say that if we divide 6 divided by 3, that's a 2, and we get an x right there. And 6 divided by 3 is also a 2, but that's a minus. So that would be y equals 2x minus 2. So this is the slope-intercept form of this equation that we have right there. At this time, I would encourage you to pause this video and try this problem out on your own. And when you're done, unpause it and check your answer. Okay, so we go over the problem here. Again, our target is we need to have y by itself on one side of the equation. So we need to get rid of this x. We need to get rid of this negative 2. So we say here that this is a positive x or a plus x. We remember that the opposite of addition is subtraction. So I'm going to subtract x from both sides, minus x. So I'm going to subtract the x to the 5x here because they are like terms, not on the 12 because 12 doesn't have an x. So that I can go ahead and say that if I have x minus x, that would be a 0. So I can cross this out. So I am left with negative 2y is equal to, that's 5x minus 1x is 4x, and that's a plus 12. Again, we need to get rid of the negative 2 so that we can have y by itself on one side in order that we can get the slope-intercept form of this equation right there. Since we say that this is negative 2 multiplied by y, or times y, we remember that the opposite of multiplication is division. So I'm going to divide negative 2 to all of these, all of these here, both left and right, so that we can get rid of the negative 2 divided by negative 2 is a 1, so we can just cross that out. So that is equal to y is equal to, that's positive 4 divided by negative 2 is a negative 2. So that would be a negative right there. And 4 divided by 2 is a 2. So that's a negative 2x. So if we have a positive 12 divided by negative 2 is a negative 6. Because we have a positive divided by a negative is a negative, and then 12 divided by 2 is 6. So this is the equivalent slope-intercept form of this equation up there. Did you get the same answer as this? Good. Perfect. Now let's move on to the next example right here. So we are given 5y plus 8 equals 3y plus 10x. So as you can see here, our target again is to have y by itself on one side. But in this case right here, we have a y on both left side and right side. So what are we going to do is we need to have all the y's on the left side. So we put them all together on one side so that we can go ahead and say that since this is a plus 3y, we remember that the opposite of addition is subtraction. So I will subtract 3y from both sides minus 3y, so that if I subtract 3y here, I can get rid of the 3y. So the 3y and the 3y here gets crossed out. So we are left with 5y minus 3y is 2y. And then that's a plus 8. And that is equal to, this one was crossed out already. And that is left with a 10x on the right side. Now again, our target is to have y by itself on one side. Now we have 8 here next to the 2y. Since this is addition, we remember that the opposite for addition is subtraction. So I will subtract 8 from both sides minus 8. So then we can cross this 8 and 8 here. So the leftover on the left side would be 2y equals 10x minus 8. So then from here, we go ahead and say that this is 2 multiplied by y. Now remember that the opposite for multiplication is division. So we divide 2 from both sides. We divide 2 to the right side as well, so that we can go ahead and cross this 2 out. So we are left with y equals 10 divided by 2 is 5, and then we have an x, and then that's a minus 8 divided by 2 is 4. So this is the slope-intercept form of this equation that we have up there. At this time, I would encourage you to pause this video and try this problem out on your own. And when you're done, unpause it and check your answer. Okay, so we go over the problem here. So it's pretty much the same thing as the previous one here. We have the y is located on both sides of the equation. Again, our target is to have y on one side of the equation by itself. So then we go ahead and since we say this is minus 3y, we remember that opposite for subtraction is addition. So I'm going to add 3y to both sides plus 3y here. So then we are left with, we can cross this out, 2y plus 3y is 5y plus 10 equals negative 5x. So we got the 5x right there left over. Now, again, we remember that we need to have y by itself here. Since you can see here that this is added by 10. Now we remember that the opposite for addition is subtraction. So we subtract 10 from both sides minus 10. So I'm not going to subtract the 10 from the negative 5x because again, these two are not like terms. So then we can go ahead and cross the negative 10 and 10 here. So we are left with 5y on the left side, and that is equal to negative 5x minus 10. So then again, this is 5 multiplied by y. We need to get rid of this 5 here so that we can have y by itself on one side. Now we remember that the opposite for multiplication is division. So I can divide 5 from both sides, divide this by 5 as well to all of these two terms on the right side. So 5 divided by 5, we can get cross this out because it becomes 1. And so we are left with just y, which is our target in order that we can come up with the slope-intercept form of this equation. So there's y equals negative 5 over 5 is a negative 1, and that's x. So I don't need to write the 1 there. And then that is negative 10 divided by 5 is a negative 2. So then this is the slope-intercept form of this equation that we have up there. Did you get the same answer as this? Good. Perfect. If you found this video helpful, hit like and subscribe for more math videos. See ya!